My name is Ras Seymour Mclean. I was born in 1956. I'm the chaplain of the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated in London. Some more of the images. These are some more of the images. These are direct images from Magdala. These ones. They're direct images. This one tells us that the Ethiopian image is known in India. This is the Indian sari of the same Dengal Mariam. It's an Indian. So we'd say that the Indian culture knows about. The manuscripts are written, as we say, in Amharic and Ge'ez. We are able to read from the manuscripts, and we put reggae music towards it. When Bob Marley says jump, 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 Nyabingi, he was saying more than ordinary things, because Nyabingi brings out these more than even reggae music. It's a continual chant. What we did was to create some press releases. Here's a press release from the Ethiopian Herald, going back to '96, where we give the government and the church detail of the things that was taken. There's a press release here from the Voice newspaper. Ethiopia demands return of 3 billion looted artifacts. They valued the art. They were worth, in that time, they were worth more than 3 billion sterling. So it's not like Ethiopia is a poor country. 3 billion is more than their GDP. The British stole Ethiopian church relics, and they're in England today. It's well known. It is not a secret anymore. Here is an article from The Guardian. That's my picture, Rasta versus the Royals. They're suggesting that Seymour Mclean has a bone to pick with the royal family because of the 6 manuscripts in the Royal Library and the 500 that was taken by sacrilege. And they all surround the images of the Dengal Mariam and her teachings. So it's well known. It's known by British newspapers. We have letters. Let me read you finally this letter from Buckingham Palace. It's to Mr. John Fraser, MP, on October 1995. There are indeed 6 Ethiopian manuscripts in the Royal Library presented to Queen Victoria in 1868. There are indeed. The Queen regards herself as its trustee and the collection itself as inalienable. Inalienable means cannot be removed except by force. Well, if you stole these things from a church, Queen Victoria, and now you're saying they are inalienable to you, then you stole them. And the judgment will fall on your shoulders. That's what we're saying. They didn't refer to this. They didn't know that. They didn't know that at all. It's a revelation to most people. How the Ethiopian image of Christ, these are dreadlocks. Now, if you look at the English images, you find we used to call it the blonde hair, blue eye, long hair. Well, long hair in that time without comb would end up in dreadlocks. It makes sense. And today you have the Batawi in Ethiopia that have the same thing. Now, one of the striking things of the images, have a look at this one. The people have wings. What is the significance and the representation of those wings? Is something that we'd like to go into with academics, and they're not the only ones. Right? Let me just bring you up to date a little while. There was a Discovering Rastafari exhibition in the Smithsonian Institute in America. The American people discovering Rastafari. And this, Congress paid $1 million for an exhibition. It's a very significant exhibition because the resistance against the culture is not so prevalent in America as it is in England. It's like in England, the people know the truth and they're holding it down. They don't want you to know. In America, they don't know, so they would research. We find that the Americans, they're more into the proper research than even the British. The British, they know the truth and they're locking it down. They don't want people to know. Sacrilege is a crime. It's a grievous crime. It's a crime against God, and it burns the conscience. If you go into a church and take out a Bible and you go home, you could not sleep in peace. It's the same thing with England. England looted over 500 of the original Ethiopian church manuscripts. They don't want the people to know about it because it's sacrilege. You don't go stealing from a church. No one does. And if you do, if your father did it, and you find out that your father did this thing, today you will make restitution and you'll ask forgiveness. You do not keep the things as if they're yours. Then you will become the original looter. After the facts have been established that these things were looted, and you insist on keeping them, you become the original looter. It would be as if you took them, and the judgment will fall on your shoulders. I'm talking the British.